being true, fully true to myself by not communicating this. But the thought that a woman and a wife is property and to be owned is very low vibrational and would not be tolerated in the fifth dimension. It would not be tolerated in the age of Aquarius. It would not be tolerated on a new earth. A woman is not property. She is not to be owned. But in the Bible, because women were paid for with a dowry, to be received, and the man would basically, the father would give his daughter to the highest bidder. Sounds very similar to sex trafficking. So just with that thought alone, you see the deconstruction of the natural law and the natural frequency in which we were supposed to operate in. And people wonder why relationships between two black people who are awakening and maybe who are below the veil of consciousness is so tense, dense, and difficult. There is a huge amount of karma that the black man has accumulated generationally from the subconscious, unconscious programming of the slave masters being the instruction manual in which they have relations with their woman. All throughout religion and church, the woman has been raped and then murdered because if she had sex with another man, it don't matter if she said it was rape, stone her. That's some deeply traumatic stuff that we must face. The truth is the truth, and it is what it is. And we are having to clear that karma. Black men are having to clear the karmic debt to the divine feminine for not only the lack of protection, but the amount of responsibility that has been placed on our shoulders because they were incapable of having enough discipline to be a ever-present father in the children's lives. There is a karmic debt to be paid for this pandemic of single mothers. And we could say all day long that it's the woman's fault. It's the woman's fault. She shouldn't have opened her legs. It's the woman's fault. Well, what about when she's raped? What about when she's molested as a little girl and she's opening her legs because she's been programmed to do that because that's the only way she knows to get love? See, we have to stop being so judgmental and hypocritical. Ignorance is arrogance. There's no separation between the two. It is a form of arrogance and stupidity and lack of knowledge, naivety, or maybe you think you know it all. They're all the same coin, just two different sides. So what has happened, men can be very irresponsible. Male incarnates in the male body, right? No, there's no instruction manual for his penis. There's no laws for his penis. There are no repercussions for what he does with his penis. I mean, even most rape victims, nothing never happens to the person that raped them because of the energy, the spiritual energy current that we have been under of patriarchy, which was really the oppression of the divine feminine. And so in order for us to bring harmony and have balance and allow the energy of Maya to enter, to be refreshed, to be restored, to be reborn, there must be a level of honor and respect to the black woman on a collective level. I don't care what race you are, who you are. When I'm saying this, what I mean is the indigenous woman, the women of the lineage of indigenous women. So in the spiritual belief system of being spiritually minded, we can say all day long, there's no race, we're all one race, human race. And it sounds sweet and it's great and I wish it was true, but it's not. And I'm able to look at things that are truthful but hurt and see them for what they are. That comes with practice. That is wisdom. So it's okay for us to acknowledge our differences. But with this consciousness and this awakening God thing and this EU melanin and these DNA codes and coming online and the old gods of the old world awakening within us and the ancestors returning within us, and with all of this comes great responsibility. And we have to see that we are responsible for a lot of the terrible things that are going on today, because we have perpetuated these things and we have refused to stop honoring things that no longer serve us as a whole. So let me tell you, let's pull one of the Ashe Bobby Hemmett checks. Okay? You can give me a check behind this one. But in every film, every TV show now, even the ones that didn't support black women ever being a part of the show, the black woman has the lead role. I don't even have to start naming it, because you see it. And most of the time, her love interest is what? A white man. When somebody outside of your race sees the value of your woman and you don't, and you're still not protecting her, and you're still being allowed, you rappers out there are still being allowed to be paid to disrespect women, you're perpetuating the very thing that you talk about is wrong and evil and bad and the devil and the white man and Illuminati and all of these other adversaries. Everybody is adversary except for you, black man. You are responsible. You are responsible. You must take accountability for what has happened. Just because it was unconscious or epigenetics or as a result of trauma doesn't make you not be accountable for it. So to awaken is to say, okay, I can accept this. I'm aware of it and I'm going to be accountable and I'm going to make adjustments and I'm going to acknowledge the black woman and I'm going to teach my daughter different. I didn't know any better, but when you know better, you do better. See, awakened man, that's how he begins to think. And so this message will not be offensive to men who are awakened or awakening. The movies are doing this because they know, they study through divination and the many different mediums and truards and different sorcerers that they have, that they seek and they consult with. They know this is the spiritual current, the divine feminine, and you combine in there a specific type of indigenous bloodline lineage. There's access to things that you cannot get access to any other way. And for those who do not begin to see this and acknowledge this, and for those who still want to ignore the fact that even Malcolm X made this observation, okay, and how unprotected, unloved, neglected, and abused the black woman has been. If you cannot see that, you will hinder your progress in the spiritual awakening that is happening. And I don't care who disagrees with this, because I feel this in my womb space. And why would I allow my womb space to speak something so strong unless I knew that it was a fact? Such a fact that the Capitol, the White House, the structure is that of a dome, which represents the womb, the most powerful country in the world, sends out its laws and decisions from something that is a sacred geometrical match to the womb. And it uses the phallus, the monument, to cast out that energy through the apex of the tip of the phallus. It's a combination of sacred geometry and sex magic that is used for America to be the most powerful country in the world. And as we see power shifting and America falling apart, they have once again fell back on depending on the energy of the black woman. This goes all the way back to the beginning of religion and the ancient sibyls and the mama watas, these seers, the prophetess who they consulted and went to before they made certain laws and legal decisions. always falls back on the indigenous woman because of the ancestral coding. This has nothing to do with racism. I don't even want to use that word. This is deeper than that. This is spiritual war. So you must realize that in the maritime law, we represent being in the womb of the matrix. It's why so many words when you go to court, there's a docket. When you dock your boat, it's a dock. All of these words. So we're swimming. We're the egg and the sperm, right? And the capital, Washington, D.C., are the ones that write the laws of the nature that we must follow. No different than within a woman's body, the laws that her body is going to follow as the baby is gestated. So you see the recreation of as within, so without, as above, so below that they use. So imagine what happens if we begin to honor the womb space for real, not how Hollywood and the church have used the black woman's spiritual current flow to use as a foundation to build things on, but like really in an honorable way. Man, I hope you hear this. But can you imagine the change in the type of nation that can be birthed from acknowledging the woman in her womb as being literally an incarnation of source creation that's existing in your life as your mother, your wife, your sister, your girlfriend, whoever, your friend? So much would change. Man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace.